Hey you, yeah you who clicked on this video. Thanks for giving our channel a shot. And if you will, please do us the honor of watching the video all the way through. Appreciate it. Now onto the video.
So we've been covering race-swapped tokenized characters for a long time on this channel, and the reaction has changed over the years from indignation that we would cover such a topic to defense of these lazy tokenizations to support and understanding of this particular way of thinking. And these attitudes seem to be reflected in movie-going and TV watching audiences as well. Case in point, one of our biggest and most controversial takes was our videos and takes on the Little Mermaid live action remake. It's hard to believe that that video was released 4 years ago, and in that time the stance on this channel has remained consistent. Whether we're talking about the tokenization of Leon Kennedy and Albert Wesker in Resident Evil, race-swapped Jet Black in Cowboy Bebop, Mindy Kaling's tokenized Velma, or the canceled race-swapped Batgirl, we have always stated that these lazy, pandering, ready-made diversity exercises would not last with fans. Well, time has proven us correct. All the aforementioned titles and characters have met a less than dignified end, either due to a lack of fan support or the studios in question having the foresight to cancel them outright. All except the curious case of Mindy Kaling's Velma, which will probably die at the hands of the writer strike. So what's the point of this video? Is it a victory lap? And I told you so for those that doubted us? No, this is a chronicle of what happens when you insult the intelligence of the paying customer. Looking at a few of these examples, we can see familiar patterns grow of news getting out about the property, fans being upset, and then the media, studios, and Hollywood in general calling the paying customers bigots for not being interested in these subpar offerings. Halle Bailey was set up for failure when large groups of fans, tired of every ginger hero and heroine from Wally West to Mary Jane Watson being changed for no other reason than that of faux diversity and inclusion. It's become a meme at this point. So when a core fan base cried out, what was the response? It was to silence them, calling them racists and bigots. Did this tactic work? Did the audience support The Little Mermaid, which was expected to do $1 billion at the box office? Nope. The film will end its theatrical run with a paltry 500 million, which isn't even enough to break even. Do you think the film would have done better if Disney had listened and made an original character, or just used the original Little Mermaid, Ariel, after fan outcry? Well, we'll never know. I mean, to be honest with you, there's no telling, but I can tell you this. I know that the Aladdin live action reboot did $1 billion. I know that the Jungle Book live action reboot did over 800 million, if not $1 billion. I know the Lion King reboot, which was god awful, still made back its money and then some. So the difference here is that the fans were vocal about their displeasure with what was going on with this film, and yet Disney decided to do it anyway. They thought that insulting the fans was going to get them the results that they wanted, and they were proven sadly mistaken. So what about on the TV? Well, next we have Cowboy Bebop and the Resident Evil live action series. Both were made by Netflix. Both were decried by fans for blatant tokenism, whether we're talking about the tokenism of Jet Black, a character whose name is Jet Black, not whose race or ethnicity, being that this was adapted from a Japanese manga and all the characters therein, with the exception I think of the main character Spike Spiegel, are in fact Asian. Or we're talking about Albert Wesker, a blonde-headed white man who was instead race-swapped with Lance Reddick, rest in peace, a dark-skinned, bald-headed black man. Make it make sense. But this is what they decided to do, and when fans found out about it, what did Netflix do? What did the media do? They called the fans bigots, racist, phobic. And what was the result? Well, Cowboy Bebop was summarily canceled, as was the Resident Evil live action reboot. There will be no season 2 for either one of these series, and in due in no small part to them ignoring, dismissing, and insulting their fan base. We starting to see a pattern here yet? So, what of all these other franchises? Well, whether we're talking about Batgirl or we're talking about all of the other things, it's very clear based on fans voting with their wallets that they are just not interested in lazy race swaps. Not black audiences, not white audiences, not Asian audiences, not Latino audiences. They are tired of it. They are done with it. So will Hollywoke learn their lesson? There are a few films and television series that are still left in the pipe, like Seth Rogen's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle project, which will see another race-swapped April O'Neil on the big screen, or How to Train Your Dragon's live-action remake, which will cast Thandie Newton's daughter, Nico Parker, as the blonde-haired Viking girl Astrid, which sent film critic, or shill film critic, John Campea into a incoherent rage at his fan base based on their particular response to this casting news. But whether it's the show media, whether it's studios themselves, or whether it's the access media, it doesn't really matter. The fact of the matter is, until they start respecting fans and fans' wishes, these things are not going to change. We've already seen an example of a studio actively changing a project mid-production because of fan outcry, and that's the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. When people saw how ugly and just disturbing the original concept was for Sonic the Hedgehog in the original trailer, the studio had a choice. They could have mocked the fans, said that they just don't get it, and called them ists and phobes and whatever else, or they could do what they did, which led to a new franchise emerging, which was listening to the fans, going back to the drawing board, and giving the fans something that they actually wanted to pay for. See, that's the difference here. When you go and you get a sandwich from Subway or wherever you get sandwiches from, and you don't like the sandwich, you don't have to pay for it. And the sandwich guy and the manager are not going to call you all different types of names because the sandwich was subpar. They're going to either A, remake the sandwich, or B, give you your money back. But Hollyweird seems to think that they're entitled to your money and that they can call you outside your name when you don't want to give it to them for offerings that are subpar and downright mediocre. But what do you guys think? Do you think that the fans are just tired of race swaps, that they're done with them, and that Hollyweird needs to wise up and stop making these? Or do you believe that race swaps still don't matter? It's fine. It doesn't really affect the bottom line, nor does it affect the viewing experience. Sound off in the comment section below, and we'll see you on the next one. 8-Bit Heroes out. Peace.
If you'd like to get a shout out on the channel, then hit that like button, maybe share it with a couple of friends, and do us the biggest honor of all, and subscribe to the channel so you can join the 8-Bit Heroes family. And while you're at it, hit that bell icon so you can be notified when our new videos come out.